Hello, friends. I still have about 6 more puzzles, I believe, to go through in the birthday series, but quick little detour because I just hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so exciting. That's so many people. So I wanted to check out this puzzle that Matt Ddraig set. It's called 2K Followers. Definitely wanted to check this one out, and then we'll get right back to the birthday puzzles. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. It's also really cool that this happened during the month of April. That's really exciting. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 6 once each in each row, column, and 2x3 region. All right, so we have a 6x6 puzzle today, and we're using the digits 1 through 6. So each one of these regions will have the numbers 1 through 6 once each. Every row and every column will also have the numbers 1 through 6 only once each, so we'll have to figure out where they go. We have crop key, digits separated by a black dart at a 2-to-1 ratio. For example, one digit is double the other. So on these black dots here, 2-to-1 ratio would be like 1 and 2, 2 and 4, or 3 and 6, 16 and 32, just where one is double the other. We have region sum lines. Region borders separate blue lines into segments. Each segment of the same blue line contains digits summing to the same total. Different lines may use different totals. Separate times entering a region separately sum to the line's total. Somebody, a neighbor is mowing the lawn outside and Loba is freaking out trying to watch out the window. So region sum lines. This blue line, if we follow it all the way around, right? If we start from here and we go this way, we have a region border here separating the line into segments. So these 3 cells will be a segment. And then we keep going, and these 2 cells are together in one segment before we cross the border again, and this will be a separate segment. So these 4 digits will have the same sum as these 2 digits. It'll also have the same sum as these 3 digits. We'll have to figure out what that is. And same thing with this line. This will be a segment. This will be a segment. And there was specific wording about this. Separate times entering a region separately sum to the line's total. Okay, so these 2 will be one segment, and these 2 will be a different segment. And blue, yellow, red, and green will all have the same total. We'll have to figure out what it is. How would we like to get started? As always, there's a link to the puzzle in the description if you'd like to solve as well as a playlist with all the Sudoku-ish puzzles I've solved, and a link to a Google form if you'd like to submit a puzzle. And a link to get Loba to stop scratching my desk when she's really just trying to get on the windowsill. I haven't figured that one out yet. We're getting there. Her auto feeder is going to go off in 8 minutes. And then she'll get some food. Okay. Well, in a 6x6 puzzle, these crappie don't have a ton of options. 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 3 and 6. So if these see each other, one of these will definitely be 3 and 6, right? Because the other option, if I don't do 3 and 6, is 1 and 2 or 2 and 4, but I can't use a 2 for both of them. So I'll definitely have a 5 over here. That's something to think about. One of these is 3, 6. The other one is 1 and 2 or 2 and 4. Okay. I also have something going on here. These kind of see each other, but I mean, like, this could be 1 and 2, and this could be 1 and 2, right? That would be fine. So we'll come back to that. I kind of want to look at these segments because this is 4 digits. The lowest that 4 digits can be is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 10. The biggest that 2 digits can be is 5, 6, which is 11. So each of these segments is going to be either 10 or 11. What do I want to do with that? If this is 10, I know from previous experience that each region and each column and each row sums to 21. Because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 21. So if this is 10, this would be 11. If this is 11, this would be 10. That's fine. Maybe I want to think about what digit can go here. If this is 10 and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this would be a 5, 6. This can't be a 5, so this would be a 6, and this would be a 5. This would be a 6, 3. 6, 3 would mean that this is 3, 6. That's possible. That's possible. If this is a 3, 6, it means that this one can't be because it sees this digit, so it would be this one. But that's possible. That seems fine. But this sum is either 10 or 11. here, oh yeah, this is definitely a good place to start, right? Oh. Well, I was thinking the whole column sums to 21. So each one of these segments would be 7. But this one is not just these two cells. I also have to include this here. Ooh, so what can I do with this? I know that the sum of these digits is 21. It doesn't mean that each of these will be 7. In fact, it means that each of these won't be 7, because this is, if this is 7 and this is 7, I have 7 left over, so this segment would end up being more than 7. What does that mean for this? I have 6 different cells plus 1 more. So the sum of all of these needs to be divisible by 3, but it also needs to be 21 plus 1 or 21 plus 2 or 21 plus 3, right? Depending on what this digit is. This is 21. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 21 plus 1, 22, 23, 24 is divisible by 3. So if the sum of all of these was 24 and this was a 3, I would need these to sum to 8 and this to sum to 8. So this would be 5. That seems like an option. I believe I can just jump up to 6 and say 21 plus 6 would be 27, and each of these would sum to 9. That also seems like an option. If this is a 3, all of these sum to 8. This would need to be 5. It would have to be 1 and 4, and then I do like 2 and 6 and 3 and 5 or something like that. Probably 2 and 6 down here, right? That's an option. So if this is 3, this would be 1 and 4. If this is 6, then all of these sum to 9. And 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, this would have to be 1 and 2. But either way, this is definitely a 1. One of these would be 3 and 6. One of these would be 4 and 5. Well, either way, a 5 goes up here. There's no way a 5 goes here, and a 5 can't go on Black Crocky in a 6x6 puzzle. And I think either way, I'm using a 6 down here. I'm not using a 6 here. I need a 6 in this column. There's no way 5 and 6 go together. This is either 4, 5 or 3, 5. Okay. 4, 5 would make it 9. This would be a 1, 2. This is either 3, 6, which I did say would work earlier. I needed that when I was like 6 and 3 and 3 and 6, I think is what it was. Or if this sums to 8, it's 2 and 6, which would also be an option. Okay, but it's definitely a 6. So one of these is definitely a 3. Can I do something here? It means that this, oh, that's nice. If I needed one of these to be 3, 6, for sure. There's no way it could be this one, because then I wouldn't be able to put a 6 here. So this is going to be 3, 6. It has to be. Not specifically like that, though. It is going to be a 3, 6, meaning, like, it's easier to say that this is going to have a 2 for sure. This is definitely a 3, 6. I don't know which one's which, but this is a 3, 6. If this is definitely a 2, this can't be a 2, so this is also going to be 3, 6. It's easier to see it that way. I don't know which one's which here, basically. If I have a 3 and a 6 here, this won't be a 3, so it's definitely a 4, 5, meaning each of these are going to be 9. So if this is, let's see, this is a 6, because we need to get to 27. So this needs to be a 1 and a 2. Perfect. Now, I also need this to sum to 9. I can't do a 2 and a 7, because this is a 6x6 puzzle, so let's do 2 here. I also don't want a 1 here, because I'd have to do 1 and 8, and this is a 6x6 puzzle. So let's make this a 4. It's going to be a 2 and a 4. This will be a 5, meaning I can make this a 1. Still don't know which one's which here, but that's okay. Okay, each of these sums to 9, which is good. This is going to be a 4 right here, and this will be a 3, 5. I'll go ahead and pencil my pairs here because it might help me with that. I don't think it will. We'll see. 1, 3, and this will be 2, 6. Okay, now what do we have going on? Well, I can't put a 5 up here. So a 5 needs to go on the line, meaning this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't want a 6 on the line. So this is going to be a 3, this will be a 6, this will be a 3, and this will be a 6. Meaning I don't have 3 here. This also can't be a 1 or a 5, so it's a 2. Meaning this is a 1, 5, and this is a 4. So I have 10 off the line. I have 11 on the line. These two need to sum to 11, but this can't be a 6. So this is going to be a 5, and this needs to be a 6. Now I need 3 cells to sum to 11. I might have some options. So Sudoku says this is a 3 and this is a 5. I need to have a 4 right here. A 3 needs to go down here. This is going to be a 1 and a 2. And I don't know which one's which yet, actually. 2 is over here, a 1 is one of these. Interesting. Well, 1, 5, 1, 2. This is going to be a 1, 2, 5. This is going to be a 1, 2, 4. And this is going to be a 1, 5, 6. So what combination here gets me 11? That was actually a lot of digits that I wasn't expecting. I don't have a 3 anywhere. This needs to be a 1, 3, a 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 1, 5. I have 4 cells to fill in though. So one of these is definitely a 3. If I put a 3 on the line, then these two sum to 8. I could do 2 and 6. If this is a 1, these two sum to 10. I could do 4 and 6. I can't do 2 and 6. That would break this. Okay, let's go through actual options here. If this is a 1, this sums to 10. 4 and 6 looks fine. So 1 is an option. If this is a 2, these two sum to 9. 4 and 5 would not work because it would break this. I don't have 3 and 6 as an option. I can't use 1 in any way, so this can't be a 2. If this is a 3, these two sum to 8. I don't have a 3. I'd have to do 2 and 6, but that breaks this, so that's not an option. If I did 5, these two would sum to 6. What if I did 5 and 1? Well, if this is a 5, I can't use another 5. I can't do 2 and 4 because they're both in the same cell, so I think the only option is to do a 1 here. This needs to sum to 10 then, so this is going to be a 6, and this will be a 4. This is not a 1 or a 4, so it's a 2. This is not a 1 or 2, it's a 3, 5, but this is the only place 3 can go. So this becomes a 5. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 5. This is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 1. 4 makes this a 5 and this a 4. 1 makes this a 3 and a 1. And then I have a 2, so this becomes a 6 and a 2. Very nice! 10:01, almost 10 minutes on the dot. Congratulations on reaching a well-deserved 2,000 followers. Hey, thank you so much. Oh, this is so fun. I love reaching some lines. I really liked also, I made a little mistake when I was writing these in, right? But, oh, I thought it was onto something when I saw this vertical line, and then I realized there's something else over here, though. I think it was good to think about, though. I almost left and looked at something else, but knowing that this did need to be divisible by 3, and I know that part of the line at least is 21, adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 to get something that's divisible by 3, that worked out really well. And I appreciate the clarification that these are separate segments. That confuses me a lot. I feel like I get really confused on whether this should or shouldn't count as the same segment. So I appreciate the clarification on exactly how that is going to work out. Very cool puzzle. I like the 2K written into the grid as well. Very nice puzzle, Matt. Thank you for the subscribers. I really appreciate it. Let me know how y'all did in the comments.